Hello and welcome to the review of Suvarium's PvP mode by Danish Super Vikings. So first off, a bit about the game. The game originates from the game Stalker that is 8 years old and is from the same company that is called Vostok. In this video review of the game we're going to talk a bit about the business module, and we're also going to look a bit on the gameplay. And in the end of this video, I'm going to sum it up and tell you guys if I think this game is worth playing or is it a pay to win. Well, before we get started, I also want to tell you a bit about the player versus environment mode and the cooperative mode that they have talked about releasing already this year. The player versus environment mode is a bit like the old Stalker game where you go into a map and search the area for anomalies and artifacts. Here you can meet mutated animals and monsters that you have to battle against, but also other groups of players. So it sounds really promising. The other thing that they also are developing is a cooperative mode where you can play some mission with your friend that tells a bit about the history in the game. I haven't seen a lot about this yet, but all these things put together, these games look really promising. So enough about that. Let's look a bit on the interface of the game and also the business module. Right now you can play two different types. You can play PvP and rating match. Rating match is the same as PvP. It has the same game modes, but when you finish a game you get a rating, and it can be higher or lower, and depending on when the week ends where you placed, you'll get better rewards. Right now they have 3 game modes and have promised in the new update 0.30 that there will be another game mode, but they have right now battery retrieval, team deathmatch and research. It's the different kind of classical plays that I will tell you a bit about when I show the gameplay. Then we have the level up system where you level up in individual factions. You both have character level up but also faction level up. What's also important to say is that when you start the game up, you choose what faction you want to be in. So, for example, I have chosen the Renaissance army instead of some other faction. When you level up with this faction, you get new gear, so you get new weapons, new armor and stuff like that. So if you want different kind or different type of gear, you have to join another faction and then you start leveling up from the bottom of the faction. But if I'm already level 10 in the Renaissance army, I get that gear with me over when I start leveling up in, for example, this Survivor army. As you see here, some of the items you have to pay for with gold, and gold is an in-game valuta. So to get gold you have to pay real money. I think that some of the weapons, at least in my level, that are paid for with gold is a bit better than the weapons I have right now. But I also think this is okay because these people are supporting the firm with real money to develop the game. And it's really not, it doesn't make that big a factor in game. So I wouldn't say this, at least not now, is a pay to win game. So I also want to talk a bit about the other interface there is. Of course you have the character, where you can level up your character. You have 2 different types of tabs right now where you can level up. You have the fighting tab, or weapon tab, and then you have the endurance tab. Some of the perks right now is, for example, in the weapons tab you have aiming, so it depends. When leveling up you aim faster from hip and up to side, and in endurance you have that you don't use stamina as fast and how far you can throw your grenade. We also are going to talk a bit about the equipment. It's a really cool and easy to use interface, and as a non-paying user you get 2 profiles. So you can see I have the short range and the medium range. When you look to the right you can see the inventory. It's really easy to use also because you can sort it in. If you, for example, have 2 or 3 different kind of factions you are leveled up in, you can sort it in the factions, but you can also sort in equipment, weapons, items and upgrades. So it's really easy to use and navigate around and find exactly what you wanted to use. So we should also take a look on the shop. As of course you can see they have a lot of items you can buy for gold. so they can, of course, make some money and make an even better game for us. That's also important to remember. You can buy for the different kind of factions. I will stay here on the Renaissance as it's the only faction I leveled up. But as you can see, already now I have a good variety of weapon I can use or I can buy, and I'm not high level yet. I'm only just started, as you can see. But I think it's really good because you unlock new weapons and armor almost every level in the faction. So it's easy to get new weapons. You don't have to use money to get new gear in this game. What I want you to remember though is look at these prices here. What the cost is in gold. I think when we later look at what the gold prices is, it's a bit expensive. For some of if you want a very good gun, it costs 3,000 gold. Remember that, 3,000 gold. But enough about the gold. We are going to come back to that later. I want to talk a bit about the workshop, and I'm jumped over clan because I think that's self-explanatory. You can make a clan and you can fight clan versus clan in this game, which also, of course, is awesome. No, take a look at the workshop. This is a really cool feature because you can level up all your weapons. What I've seen until now is that you can level a weapon up 3 times, which give them perks. For example, more damage, easier, or you can aim faster, the weapon doesn't have as much recoil. So this means you can take a weapon and make it better. So when you have to wait to level up, you can give your weapon some perks that makes it a tiny bit better. Yeah, I also wanna show you the missions. You have daily missions in this game. You get 3 missions, and every 3 of these missions you can reward you with a bronze, silver, or gold medal. The bronze medal gives you a level up to your character. The silver medal gives you silver to buy new weapons, and the gold medal gives you a reputation with your faction. So that is, of course, that you can level up with your faction. Here you can also use gold to make the missions easier, but I wouldn't recommend that. Fast, squad. That's of course where you can put your friends together and go in and play together with them. Works perfectly. I already told you a bit about the ranking system, but I just want to go a bit in the depth with it, because this is really awesome to put in a player versus player mode. The ranking system works that you play in the start of the week 5 games and then you get a rank. I'm in the lowest league and already you can see I got plus 20% to all. I got plus 20% to character level up, faction reputation, and silver. And when the week ends, I get a rare item. For example, you can see I get orange boots. So I think this is really good and rewards the player for being competitive. As I said earlier, we're going to talk a bit about the gold again, and you had to remember 3,000 gold. It was for the best weapon in the game, and it's almost 30 euros. I think for a weapon that is a bit in the pricey end, but also you have to remember, when you buy something in game, you support the game company in making a better game. For around 3 euros you can buy your national flag to put on your suit, or the emblem your army uses also to put on your suit. I think that is okay. That is a good way to support the company. Use 3 euros or 2.84, and then you support the company by a little bit money, and you can have your own nationality on your shoulder. But enough about that. I want to show you some gameplay from 3 different modes, starting off with the team deathmatch. It's almost identical to what you normally know from team deathmatch. 2 teams competing against each other. But what's different in this game is that you start out with 15 minutes and 100 tickets. But in other games, when you reach to 5 tickets, then people just die and the game ends with you in the game, which is kind of irritating, because if it's a close combat, it's like 5 versus 10 tickets. Then when I hate to use this term, but when some noob goes out and die and you're still alive and you're like, oh my freaking god, we could have done this, guys. This game actually has that when you go back to, if you are 8 in a map, Then when there are 8 tickets left, then you got 1 life. When you die, you cannot spawn in again and ruin it for the others. So this means that if you have a really, really good player on your team, he can actually save your team. Yeah, of course, if it's not, 1 versus 50, but 1 versus 8 maybe, and he could pull it together, and yeah, he could actually make sure that your team win the match. Another thing that's really awesome in this game is that I played this map a lot of times, and one time it can be sunshine, and another it can be rainy, and another it can be almost night, as you see in this map. So they have weather change and time change in the maps. I think this is really good because it gives a sense of it's a new map you're playing, or it's the same stuff, it's the same places, but it gives a new feeling. Another thing is that even though you have a really, really good weapon and playing against one with a really low level weapon, it doesn't matter in the sense if he makes a headshot, you're dead. One shot kills you if it's in the head, no matter the weapon. So that means if you're really good at aiming, you can actually compete against the best or the highest level with a low level weapon. Now when we are talking about the weapons, we also have to mention when you fire a fully automatical weapon, the force from that weapon makes it really, really hard to aim. So you have to, burst fire the bullets, because else it's so hard to hit anything in this game. And also hip fire. Hip fire is a completely no-go. It's so hard to kill people with hip fire. You should be so close. So this game is all about aiming down the side. Another thing in this game that's really incredible awesome is that when you finish the game, you have this map you see here, and there's drops some random loot in the map. Then you can pick one of these items, and there's a chance that you get a really good item. For example, here I would really want these gloves because these are good gloves, these are orange, this means it's a rare item. So I have 20% chance of picking the gloves. And I was actually pretty lucky, I got the gloves. But normally when you get these items and it's good items, you have to repair them when you get out of the map. And it takes a lot of time. As you can see here, my rating improved by 13 points in rating match. And then you can see the awards on the right side and normal information about what I earned in this map. One of the other game modes in Suvarium is battery retrieval. It's a variation of capture the flag, but it's still a bit different. Each team start with a post, the goal zone can you also call it, and this goal zone has to get 10 batteries for you to win the game. These 10 batteries spawn on neutral ground on neutral stations on the map, where you have to go get them. So you can say this form of gameplay starts out with you having to retrieve an item from neutral ground, both teams, so you have to, defend or take over the station. When all 10 batteries have been released, then you have to attack each other's goal post and take a battery from their station and bring it back to your own. So here the game changes to, classical team deathmatch. So when one team has 10 batteries, they win, or the team with the most batteries when the time runs out, of course, are the winner. Another thing that is special for this game is that they have brought in anomalies from the Stalker game. Anomalies are something that happen because of the nuclear winter, and they are harmful to your person. So when you walk in a zone of the anomaly, it degrades your energy and in the end kills you. This is a really cool factor in the game, because of course you have armor, so you have more health from bullets, but you also have the factor of isolation. So isolation protects you from anomalies and armor from bullets. You can also, if you have enough isolation, pick up the anomalies, and they give you a perk in game. So maybe it can be health regeneration, stamina regeneration, higher damage. But of course, when you pick up an anomaly, you are going to lose some health because they are harmful to your person. Well, I think that's all there is to say about the battery retrieval. And now we are going on talking a bit about the last game mode, Research, also known as Control Points. This game mode is actually also really fun, but they also made it a little bit different, because normally in Control Points you have tickets that is going down, as in the Team Deathmatch mode here, but the story behind this one is that you found some artifacts and you have to radio through the data. So when you hold these control points, you are getting signal. The thing is, when you have 2 control points and made it up to 25%, you can't go back to 20. So when you first made some progress, you can go backwards. This is pretty much standard control point, but I really like this game mode because you have both attack and also defend options in this game mode. Actually, I like all the 3 game modes there is in the game. I think it's really good. And also the new game mode they're going to make is last man standing or last team standing. So I'm also looking a lot forward to that. Another thing this game really nailed is all the weapons. There are so many weapons in this game. It's incredible. We have from pistols to personal defense weapon, SMGs and stuff like that. We have assault rifles, we have medium range rifles, we have long range rifles. And of course we also have shotguns. I nearly forgot it because I haven't even had the time to try it. All these weapons are so incredible. And both in sound but also in feeling, when you have the assault rifle in hand and shooting with it, it is really hard to keep it steady because there's such a big force in it. And then you have the personal defense weapon. It's easier to keep steady, but it doesn't do as much damage. So every time you pick a weapon, you have a trade-off. You also have, for example, the pistol. It's a really good, actually this game rewards the pistol. The pistol is a good weapon to use because it's fast and it's easy to run with. It doesn't have so much force when you fire it, so you can easily put 10 bullets on the same place. And then again, we have the medium rifles versus the long range rifle. I only used the Winchester is, I would think, a medium rifle, and then I have the I have the SOK 94. It's also a medium rifle. They are semi-automatic and you can fire really fast with them, but they don't do as much damage as, for instance, the long-range rifle Mosin Nagant. With the Mosin, you only have to fire 1 shot and it will kill the person you're firing at. Where with the Winchester, you maybe have to put in 3 or 4 shots before it kills him. Also depending on the range. So I think this is really cool because there is so many factors in this game on the weapons. They're really thinking about how the different type of weapon works. So this is pretty much all I had on Suvarium for now. I'm gonna sum it up right now by talking a bit about what are the pros and cons for this game, and also is this a pay-to-win game. So let's start with the obvious and talk about the pros. The biggest pro of this game is of course that it's based on Stalker, and I really love the Stalker games. They were so good games. I really mean the horror, the shooting, all things combined. It shows a game built around a solid game concept. One of the other things I think is a big pro is that they are actively working on this game. They have the PvE mode and the cooperative mode coming out. I'm not sure how much I'm into the cooperative mode, but maybe it's exciting enough. But this PvE mode, if it's anything like the old Stalker, this game has me hooked. I think they have some. It's really a nice concept they are building this game around. Another big pro for this game is of course the weapons. I already told you what there is to know about the weapons, but I'm just gonna say a big pro. I think all these weapons, it's so amazing. Really good job, guys. And I think if I should sum it up or round it up, I'm going to say the last big pro I'm going to give this game is for its it's for its ranking system. So they are rewarding people to play competitive. I like that, guys. Keep that going.
That's good shit, man.
But of course, we also have to look not only at the pros but also at the cons. One of these is definitely that there are some weapons in the game that you can only buy for real money. I think if they really want to make it free to play, they could make it really hard to get these guns, but to make them so you can only buy them for real money, I think it's smelling a little bit of pay to win. Another con, it's definitely a little con, but this is a game developed by Russian people. It's a Russian firm, so don't expect to read a lot in the chat that's not Russian. So yeah, you're not gonna read any English. Maybe a little bit English, but it's mostly Russian. So you feel a little bit outside when people are talking to each other in the chat. So I can't really think about any other cons about this game. So to briefly look on the summary, this game is awesome. It's a good concept they have going. It's a good game and they are developing on it. Yeah, I would say from Danish to Viking, play this game. It's really effing awesome. Yeah, it's free to play. You can just try it out, and you can find me and Norgård on the game. You can just find us in the friend tab. My name is Shortyman 2387 and Norgård 87. And then come be a part of our clan, and yeah, let's kick some butt together. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, if you like this video and want to see more of it, like the video and subscribe to our channel. When you subscribe, you help us make these awesome videos. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye.